Want to know a secret that a lot of college coaches wish you knew as a student athlete when it comes to recruiting? Something that is very rarely discussed. You don't hear it on YouTube, you won't read about it on X or Twitter, but I'm going to share with you a separating tool that can get your student athlete recruited at the college level. What we're talking about is base running. It's a fundamental that's under discussed, under taught, and highly thought of, and is a very valuable asset to separate your student athlete from every other athlete that could be in a recruiting class for your student athlete. Want to let you know, as a member of the channel, this is the type of content that I'm going to begin to focus on, sharing these topics from the perspective of the college coach and what we as college coaches are looking for to differentiate and separate college athletes. I really appreciate you being a member, and this is the type of content I hope you enjoy. And if you like this, I'm asking you, please hit the thumbs up. Please comment. Please ask your questions. It helps with regard to building the algorithm, and it lets me know that these types of topics are what you want to hear more about. Mastering the art of base running. What does it take, and what can you do as a student athlete to get this work in each and every day that you're between the lines at practice? Number one, first and foremost, you want to work on technique and footwork every opportunity you can. You're taking batting practice, you come out of that turtle and you're doing the bases. Don't go through the motions. Make sure you're working on things like crossover step, gate steps, things that are going to help you cut and reduce times between first and second. Also, if you're on second, how to get home on a base hit. We're going to cover all that. But I want you to understand hard 90s. It's not just a topic or a discussion point or hollow words. 90 feet matter. It matters a great deal to college coaches, and you have to make every single effort to make sure that you respect the base paths and you are proficient or elite as a base runner. Doesn't mean foot speed. It means that you have a superior intellect with regard to running of bases. Let's start about out of the box. Out of the box means you put a ball in play and you know that's a base hit. You saw it get through the hole in the 5-6 hole. You saw it go into the right center gap. You're thinking double out of the gate. You're thinking double. You're taking a hard, aggressive turn and you're picking up the baseball. If you see that outfielder and he hasn't got to the ball yet, you take that extra base. You get to second base. Or you see the ball kind of being lobbed in by the outfielder to the infielder, the cutoff man. You take that extra base. You do not stop until the infielder has received the ball from the outfielder, and then you turn, keeping your eye on the defender, and get back to first base. A hard 90 out of the box will get you noticed. That's number one. Number two, when you're on first base, pick up the coach. Make sure you see the third base coach. What's going on? Get your sign. Make sure you acknowledge. There's always an acknowledgement with the third base coach that, A, you received the sign, you know what sign is on or what signal is on. It shows that you're engaged and involved. Now, footwork technique, this can be worked on during batting practice when you're at first base and your team is taking batting practice. Take a look, see where the outfielders are. When you're on first base, know where that right fielder is. Know what the arms are like in the outfield. Know how you're going to go from first to third on a base hit. If that ball is behind you, you're picking up the third base coach. Don't turn your head trying to find the baseball. If that ball is in front of you, read the outfielder's reactions. You see it. It's all in front of you. Make your decision based on watching their in and out, who has good arm strength, who doesn't have good arm strength. Is the infielder going out for a cutoff? If the play's in front of you, it's your decision. If the play's behind you, you pick up that third base coach immediately. Next, let's talk about making sure that you're getting good reads when you're at second base. Where are the outfielders positioned? Freeze on a line drive. Freeze on a line drive. Say it over and over and over again. Freeze on a line drive. Don't take your team out of an inning being overly aggressive. Make sure that you are getting an accurate read during batting practice with your team. Freeze on a line drive, fly ball to right or right center. You're on second. You're tagging up and going to third. The ball's in front of you, left field, left center, center field, and it's shallow. Get halfway between second and third. Read it. If you see it drop, you're getting to third and possibly scoring. Obviously, when you're on third base, you want to make sure you freeze on a line drive. Know if you're on contact or not. Communicate with your third base coach. Always tag on the ball in the ear. Even if you think that ball is yard, it's going out, get back to the base, tag up. Make sure you don't run yourself out of an inning. Also, base running, just as a reminder, never make the first or third out at third base. Never, ever, nope, no way, no how. Do not make the first or third out, final out of an inning at third base. Live by that. Make sure you understand that. Next, make sure you're aggressive on the base paths, but make sure you're doing a read. Are the infielders in? Are the infielders back? Are the outfielders in the gap? Are the outfielders and nothing over their head? Are the outfielders playing shallow? As a base runner, it is your job to use your eyes to figure out what is out in front of you and read and react accordingly to where the ball is put into play. Coaches will notice if you are taking a moment after you've picked up your third base coach, if you're on the base paths, are you looking around at the outfielders? Do you know where the infielders are positioned? We don't want to get picked off due to being overly aggressive. We want to make sure we are aware of our surroundings, aware of the defensive positions. Are they playing to pull? Are they in? Are they shallow? Make sure that you know where the defensive alignment is. The next one is critical. Stealing bases. A lot of athletes think they have to be really fast. When you're at first base, and I did this for decades with all of the teams that I coached, I taught my sons this, and my sons were elite base runners. In fact, I would venture to tell you that Tyler enjoyed base running more than he did pitching or hitting. He loved being a student of the game, and he really read pitchers and catchers. Let's talk about that. First and foremost, when you're at first base and you're getting, you're taking your lead and you're taking your secondary lead after the pitcher delivers to the plate, your eyes should be turned and clearly focused on the catcher. If you see the catcher's knees coming forward, like he's going to have to block the ball, you see the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand, and you know that ball is going in the dirt, you should be gone. You should be immediately reading the catcher, the pitcher, the ball in the dirt, and you should be off. Don't wait for that ball to hit the catcher's chest and bounce softly out in front of him. Read, react, and be aggressive. But you have to practice these repetitions. You have to make sure you're doing this in your batting practice. Do this when pitchers are throwing bullpens. You can do this off to the side. And guess what? Every pitcher at some point will throw a ball in the dirt. They're not purposely trying to do it, but they do it. And when you are reading and reacting and you're looking and anticipating, you're going to get that great jump and give your team the opportunity to get into scoring position. The other part of this equation is when you're stealing bases and you're in an account, the hitter's in account, maybe it's 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, and you know the pitcher likes to throw secondary pitches to get strikeouts. You can anticipate that slower pitch, that slower delivery, that potential ball in the dirt. It's easier to steal a base off a catcher when when you know or you think that there's a breaking ball or a secondary pitch coming. Now, how do you do that? You talk with pitchers. Find out when they like to throw their secondary pitches. You study pitchers and you watch sequences. Do they go fastball, fastball, secondary? Do they go fastball, secondary, secondary? These are things that make you a student of the game. And by studying your own pitchers, by working when they're throwing bullpens, make yourself an elite base runner. Separate yourself from all other position players by having a really strong understanding of how to steal bases, how to go from first to third on a base hit. This is something that coaches are really looking for. Pay attention to. Always remember, freeze on a line drive, be aggressive, but be intelligent. If this is the type of content that you like, hit that thumbs up. Let me know that you like this. Please share the channel, share within your baseball community. I'm going to continue to make this type of content. I look forward to sharing more of this, giving you the edge as a student athlete and as a family with regard to college recruiting.